Hey, this is Jacob with IR Renovations. So here we have an accent wall that we are doing in a home remodel. So the first thing that we do is we install the baseboards, and if you can see in the wall, we have a 4x8 sheathing. It's a 1/8 sheet that we secure to the wall. We hit all the studs to make sure the whole wall doesn't fall off. And what we're using for the paneling, it's a 1x3 wall. It's a 1/2 inch by 3 inch primed MDF strips. And if you can see in the background, we have a few lines. So how we start accent walls is that the design usually we'll come up with it on the head, but also we'll try to do even out measurements. So on this particular wall, we started with this vertical line, the first one that I'm putting on there, and once we did a chalk line of that line, and from there we started measuring to the bottom 17 inches, and that was basically our whole measurements between the spacing, the whole wall and the strips. So you'll see me there, doing the angles. So the angles are not a 45-degree angle. I believe some of them were like 37 degrees. The other ones were about 25, 23. It was all very different. So my best advice with this type of angles and cuts, it's cut a long piece and just mark it down and start measuring. And that's how we basically came up with this idea. So you'll see a little bit more and more of how I'm doing the markings. So I cut a long piece and same thing. I know some of you guys might already know how to do all this stuff, but my whole purpose of this channel is to help out people that want to do DIY projects, or people that are barely starting in the business. And we all have to learn at one point. So there you see me again doing the same thing, long cuts. And this design, actually, I found it something not a little bit similar to this on Instagram and one of the reels, and I added a few more touches to it. So what we have on the bottom is a 7-inch baseboard, and then we have the 4x8 pine in the background, and we actually secured it with 2-inch screws, and we basically put screws in all the studs. And to nail the strips, we are using 18 gauge brad nailer, and that's going to be your biggest help right there. So enjoy the video, you guys. This is just me talking, so enjoy this video.